Hey, this is Gary from 3Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about a quick and easy way to do a content audit on your website. Now this is geared towards businesses, okay, because we're going to be talking about service pages, product pages, as well as blog content, okay. Now this is a very quick back of the napkin type of content audit. We're not going to be using special software, we're not going to be diving into analytics, doing keyword research, things like that. This is just a quick way for you to review to see if there's obvious gaps in your content marketing strategy and opportunities for you to create some valuable content that's going to drive valuable traffic to your website. Now, if you've been creating content for a while, you may or may not be getting results. You know, creating content takes a long time, can take several months before you start to see any kind of results with it. But even if you've been doing it for a couple of years, I know a lot of businesses that have been blogging for years and they still really can't pinpoint any direct sales or conversions coming from their blog, even if they're getting quite a bit of traffic. So when it comes to creating content, the number one thing you need to know is who my audience is, okay? And that may sound silly, but there's a lot of people out there who create content not really think about who their audience is. So whenever you're gonna create a piece of content, whether that's a video, a blog post, make sure you're really thinking about who would be the person that would want to read this. Okay, and then once you understand that, the next thing you want to know, especially if you're a business, is what part of the decision-making / buying process would this person be in? And to give you an example, if you are a mortgage company and you're writing a blog post called "What is a mortgage and how does it work?" you may get traffic for that blog post that you write, but you'll never get a customer for it, because if somebody doesn't even know what a mortgage is, they clearly are not ready to buy a mortgage yet. So they're well at the top of the the buying cycle, top of the sales funnel, things like that. So really think about, when you're creating a piece of content, who my audience is and where in the buying cycle would they be if they were searching for this type of content, and that'll help you shape and kind of concentrate your content for what you want, which is more sales, more conversions, things like that. So we're going to break this down to two sections: services, product pages, and blogs. So let's start with your service or product pages for your business. Number one, make sure you have individual pages for all of your services that you offer or your products. Things like that. A lot of times a business will just have a service page and it'll have all their services listed on a single page with a little snippet, a little summary of what it is. Number one, not good for conversions, because if that's as far as you're going to get with what your service is about, not enough information most of the time for people to make a decision to contact you, call you, come visit you, things like that. Number two, when it comes to Google, SEO, the search engines, when you have them all grouped together like that, it's very hard for the search engines to categorize that page into any single kind of category. So what happens is it doesn't fit any category, so it doesn't rank at all. So if you're a mortgage company and you're targeting first-time home buyers, seniors, reverse mortgages, whatever it is, make sure you have an individual page for each one of those that talks specifically about that type of product that you're offering. Really, that's the only way you're really going to get your page found in Google, and that's your best opportunity to convert a visitor into a lead for your business. You want to make sure the content's unique, so don't go to your mortgage company's website, copy the content and just put it on your website. Things like that doesn't work. It'll never rank in Google. They know you're copying content from somewhere else. Make sure you're creating unique content. Make sure it's thorough and persuasive for conversion and for the search engines. The search engines don't like to show flimsy content in the search results. They want to make sure you're answering the question thoroughly, you're providing a lot of information, things like that. And plus, for users, a visitor comes to your site, they're going to want to know, a little bit more in-depth content about what that product or service is all about. So make sure it's thorough and persuasive. Creating FAQ pages is really good. Answer a lot of frequently asked questions. Even better is taking specific FAQs for specific products or services and putting directly on that service page for you. Okay, so first thing you want to do, look at your product and service offerings, make sure you have unique pages for each one, make sure they're easy to find on your website, and make sure they're thorough in their content and explaining what you have to offer, and it's persuasive as well. Now, getting into content, getting into blog posts, things like that, one of the easiest things you can do, whether you're starting to blog or you're thinking about blogging, is take your top 20 questions people get. Probably you've been in business of any length of time, you probably get tons of emails, calls, people coming in, and they ask you the same questions over and over again. Okay, make a list of those questions. That should be your first 20 blog posts. Make them thorough, well thought out. Don't just give a one-line response. Maybe include some data, some statistics, graphics, maybe a video in there, things like that. Answer all of these fully and completely, and you will have a very good chance of getting that piece of content ranked in the search engines, because most of your competitors probably have a single FAQ page where they're answering all these questions, which is great, but they're probably answering them with a 1 or 2 or 3 line response where you're going in depth to explain people why, when, how, things like that, to fully answer their question. Because you have to think about it, the search engines, Google is predicated on people are searching for information and Google's serving them an answer. So most of the time people are asking questions, they're trying to find information. So having your top 20 questions is a great way to target your ideal customer, because they're asking this because they're already asking you via phone calls, emails, things like that. Content to drive traffic for your service and product pages. Okay, so if you're a mortgage company and one of your products is for first-time home buyers, take a look at your content. Are you creating content to support and surround that specific service? So if you're offering first-time home buying services, then take a look. Do I have any content to support that? Because what you want to do is you want to create content that will bring people in, whether that's through the search engines, social media, email marketing, and you want to include links to your first-time homebuyer page. So when you pull them in with the content, and then try to drive them back to that service page on there. So take a look at all your products, services, and categorize your content that you've created, and see, where are the gaps? Are there any services, important services, where you haven't created any content to support it on there? So that's a great way to use your blog to support your products and service pages. Make sure you have a variety of content on your website. Studies have shown that people that tend to read blog posts don't really tend to watch a lot of video or listen to podcasts, and vice versa. If you kind of look at a Venn diagram, they don't intersect, they don't overlap very much. Okay, so by varying your content, you're reaching different audiences. So having an active blog, creating video on your website, on YouTube, creating images for social media, maybe some infographics, things like that, you're reaching different kinds of audiences. So if you only blog and you do nothing else, you're kind of limiting on your potential audience, because there's a lot of people who only watch video, who only like to listen to podcasts, who like infographics, likes visuals, likes Instagram, things like that. So take a look at what type of content you've created and try to introduce some variety with it. Now, when it comes to content, some quick tips: make sure it's thorough, easy to read, fully explained. If you're writing a blog post, you should never write less than 500 words on there. You may struggle, but you can use examples, data. You can pull a lot of different content, to support your answer, things like that, and you'll quickly see that it's pretty easy to do at least 500 words to write a blog post. Okay, make sure it's long enough, like I just said, for Google, and to fully explain to the person reading it. Like I said earlier, Google doesn't like flimsy content, so make sure that it's long, thorough, and you fully answer that question, and hopefully support it with some additional facts, figures, things like that. And publish on a regular schedule. That's one of the biggest things. When you're creating content, it's hard to get on a regular schedule. You may, do a blog post every day for a month and then quit for a year. You're better off just create a regular schedule. And that could be daily, weekly, or even monthly or bi-weekly, whatever it is. Try to stick to a schedule, because when you're publishing content on a regular schedule, that tells the search engines that you're an active website, you're continually creating content. So even if it's not flying out the door, you're not doing a daily piece of content, they know to come back and look on a regular basis because you're always publishing content. Okay, so be consistent. So hopefully this gave you a quick overview to do a quick content audit without having to use special software. If you have any questions, you can go to 3bugmedia.com. Thank you very much.